Imagine you're just part of one world where free will is not your own to claim. A world where questioning authority is forbidden and oppressors clings to a worship of a higher being they dare not to question. But as you begin to think for yourself, the veil starts to lift. The more you question, the more their grips weakens, and the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Welcome to His Dark Materials, a series that takes us on an extraordinary journey through worlds where freedom clashes with oppression and where souls manifest as animal companions, revealing the essence of who we are. Far from the fantastical whimsy you might expect, the story delves into the profound questions. What does it mean to fight for knowledge in a world that fears it? How do you hold on to innocence when experience demands otherwise? And most importantly, can love and sacrifice truly reshape destiny? If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and check out my other videos after this one. And now, without further ado, let's explore His Dark Materials. Chapter 1. The Necessities of Stories. Fiction or non-fiction, stories are an important part of our lives. They are what drives us to think for ourselves and, most importantly, provides the knowledge we need. In the series, knowledge is portrayed as a fickle thing, no matter which world you are in. It is something often suppressed to keep people gullible and compliant under the governance of their world. This suppression of free thinking becomes the key reason why individuals like Lord Asriel grows weary and yearn for change. The oppressive system that enforces the status quo instills fear in those with power, making them resist any challenges to their authority. Even in societies where laws are designed to protect the people, these laws are often no more than symbolic writings on the wall, mere illusions of justice, while true power resides with those who embraces control and conformity. Across the worlds explored in the series, governance is closely tied to a superior being. The Magisterium calls it the authority, while other worlds have their own name for their overarching power. Each rebellion against this system is sparked by stories and prophecies. The sliver of knowledge preserved in these tales inspire hope and becomes the driving force behind the fight for free will and independent thought. The hope, however small, becomes a guiding beacon. It fuels the determination of those who resist, even as a war spanning multiple worlds unfolds to prove that free thinking is an essential part of existence. Yet, after all the struggles and battles, a lingering question remains. Is free will and independent thought truly attainable by defeating a single being who holds control over many? Or is it a cyclical struggle, a disease that cannot be permanently eradicated but only suppressed for a time, destined to resurface as rebellions and wars continue in the fight to reclaim what was lost? Chapter 2. Diversities of Layered Characters. In any fantasy-driven narrative, there are countless creatures and characters that needs to be introduced. Often the minor creatures and characters lack the layer of intrigue that elevates a story from good to great. His Dark Materials is no exception, featuring a vast array of characters and creatures that inhabit its world. From the diverse human races like scholars, Egyptians, and the Magisterium, to the fascinating creatures such as Panzerborn, also known as the Armored Polar Bear, witches, even angels. The series introduces beings that often feels like myth within their own worlds. However, each race is enriched with unique cultures and practices that brings depth to the narrative. Rather than focusing solely on one character with rich layered backstory, His Dark Materials allows every character and creature their moment to shine. Regardless of their screen time, the layers embedded in the characters resonates with us. Some reflect their own traits, while others offer a representation of things we can only imagine of. The richness of diverse and layered characters transforms the series into more than just a fantasy tale. It becomes a profound exploration of the limitless possibilities of imagination. The narrative invites us to see reflections of ourselves while offering glimpses of worlds beyond our wildest dreams. For instance, witnessing a Panzerborn in action is a thrilling reminder of the series' creative depth. But I digress. Every character has an interesting story that keeps the viewers following the narrative. From Mrs. Coulter and her demon, the Orange Monkey, and the unique relationship she has with it, to Lee Scoresby's adventurous mindset and his love for Lyra, sacrificing everything, even his own life. To Yorick, the King of Salvards, the main Panzerborn we follow in the narrative. Each character is rich with backstory and tragedy. Ultimately, His Dark Materials demonstrates that the boundless possibility of imagination can be brought to life in books or even on screen. Then, the next key question that should be asked is how layered and compelling will these characters we create be? Chapter 3: The Nature of the Soul. When someone questions if you have a soul, there is no physical proof you can provide to demonstrate its existence. But what if there is a world, similar to ours, where the key difference lies in the fact that every human soul is represented as an animal? These animals, called demons, are the manifestation of your soul, the one constant being that will accompany you throughout your entire life. In the trilogy of books and the TV series based on them, the concept of demons have profoundly reshaped my perspective on the nature of the soul. What was once a static and abstract concept to me became something vivid and dynamic throughout the fictional narrative. Though it is a work of fiction, there is an undeniable heart in the way it portrays the soul and its connection to our identity. As a child in this world, your demons can change form, shifting into any animal that reflects the emotion or personality in the moment. This flexibility symbolizes the innocence and boundless potential of youth. However, as you grow older, your demon settles into one permanent form, representing the core of who you truly are. There is no exact science within the story to explain what determines your demon's final form, but it is strongly tied to your innermost trait and personality. Your soul, as depicted through your demon, knows everything about you. It's impervious to the mask you wear in public or even in private, revealing the raw, unfiltered essence of your being. This idea, to me, encapsulates the core of what demons represent, an unyielding truth about your identity. The concept of having your soul, represented as an animal, is endlessly fascinating. Imagine the conversations you might have with your demon, a being that is, in essence, a part of you. It's a narrative device that adds depth, not just to the story's imaginative world, but also its exploration of identity. It goes beyond the spectacles of showing various animals on screens. It delves into the deeper, unchallengeable truth of who we are, leaving no room for pretense. Chapter 4: Innocence and Experience. In every world, no matter which, the reality is that the children are protected from the dangers that lurks within it. The innocence of children becomes the key reason why this adventure had started in the first place, a journey to rescue the kids who had been kidnapped. This search for the missing children sparked a prophecy where free thinking was allowed to exist. At the center of this prophecy lay two kids from separate worlds, one who had joined the quest to find the missing children, and the other destined by a legacy of his father with a different purpose. Both Lyra and Will, though on separate paths at first, were enveloped in a bubble of innocence. It wasn't until the collision of three worlds that they began to realize just how much sheltered they had been. In Lyra's world, dust is seen as the personification of sin, an abstract concept that is difficult to define. As the narrative explains it, all adults carry it, while children seem untouched by it. This idea becomes a key driver of their journey. Through their adventures, Lyra and Will face the harsh realities of the world, from violence to deception. Their journey is a test of innocence, forcing them to endure challenges that no child should have to face. Yet it is precisely this journey that resonates so deeply with audiences. At some point, all of us as children experience that state of innocence. For adults, there is a natural instinct to protect the younger generation from harsh realities for as long as possible. Children are often driven by desires to explore the uncharted territories of life. Lyra and Will's journey, both apart and together, embodies this universal yearning. Their exploration of the unknown mirrors the truth we must all face, the eventual loss of innocence. As their adventures unfold, so too does the realization that dust, the mark of experience and sin, has finally begun to settle within them. Chapter 5: When Worlds Collide. The trope of the multiverse has become a tiresome discussion over the past decade, as many narratives that has attempted to use this concept have soured it entirely. However, when executed well, the multiverse can elevate a story, creating something unique that draws intrigue from audiences. His Dark Materials tackles the concept of the multiverse within its narrative, but rather than using it as a gimmick, the trope serves as a framework to explore universal themes across the worlds. In the series, the collision of worlds is not merely a literal merging of dimensions, but a symbolic meeting of ideologies, cultures, and experiences. Each world represents unique systems of governance, beliefs, and oppressions, highlighting the different ways power and control manifests. The multiverse trope becomes a lens to demonstrate the universality of these struggles. No matter the world, the fight for free will and truth remains constant. This collision of worlds acts as the catalyst for rebellions across the worlds to unite, where individuals stand together to fight a force greater than their own. What sets the series apart is the extraordinary care given to the designs of each world, from the familiar settings of Will's home to Lyra's world and the dimension where the subtle knife resides. Every location feels distinct and alive. Each world has its own unique atmosphere, culture, and architecture, making the journey through the multiverse immersive and compelling. These differences aren't just aesthetics, they underscore the series' exploration of cultural exchange and shared beliefs in freedom. By giving every world its own identity and purpose, the series ensures that the multiverse is more than just a narrative device. Each world becomes a vital piece of the story, contributing to its exploration of unity, connection, and the universal fight for liberation. Through this approach, the series revitalizes a tired trope, turning it into a powerful tool of storytelling. Chapter 6: The Ending. In the aftermath of defeating Metatron, the symbolic embodiment of oppression that plagued countless worlds, Lyra and Will's journey come to a poignant close. They are forced to bid farewell to one another as the final part of the prophecy is fulfilled. Their journey was not defined by Lord Asriel's rebellion or the broader ideological struggle for free will and independent thought. While these battles provided a backdrop to their story, the heart of their journey lay in the personal lessons they have learned about love, sacrifice, and the cost of fulfilling their destiny. Throughout the series, there are numerous examples of love and sacrifice, often embodied by parents for their children. Mrs. Coulter's, Mr. Scoresby, and even the Egyptians all demonstrated these themes throughout their actions. On a similar note, friends make extraordinary sacrifices for one another, proving that love and selflessness are what ultimately allows free will and independent thinking to triumph over oppression. However, as significant as these actions were, Lyra and Will had largely been shielded from making such monumental decisions, protected by the innocence as children. Lyra and Will's bond was extraordinary, a friendship forged in a world foreign to both of them. Prophecy destined their path, though neither consciously realized they were following its design. Together, they embark on countless adventures, from obtaining the subtle knife to freeing Metatron's prisoners from purgatory. Over time, their friendship deepened into love, completing the prophecy that was written. Yet their final trial asked of them a sacrifice so great that even adults might falter in the face of it. The fulfillment of prophecy brought a bittersweet resolution, as the doorway between worlds starts to close forever. Lyra and Will were forced to say goodbye, knowing they could never fully share their love together. Now separated in their respective worlds, they're burdened with the knowledge that someone they loved deeply exists out of reach. Despite their triumph in restoring balance to the world, they must live with the enduring pains of their sacrifice. In the end, his Dark Materials reminds us that even the greatest triumph demands sacrifice, and the love, in its purest forms, often requires letting go. It's a story that leaves us questioning just how much we truly hold the will for freedom and independent thought in our lives. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you soon in the next review episode.